Good morning to all of you. Welcome to Legal Matters by SAURABH. It has come in the Hindu newspaper a good judgment by Delhi High Court, Single Justice Pratibha M. Singh, holding that wearing a mask is compulsory or mandatory even in a car, even though you are driving alone. So this is the crux of the issue, right? So justice observed that mask is a Swarna Kavach, golden protection to prevent the on-spread of COVID-19. So she dismissed all the writ petitions filed against imposing fine of rupees 500 for the drivers of the cars. Of course, they are no less than advocates. Drivers of the cars, holding that the car is a public place. So this is the important point. So you can read it as the case of he is Mr. SAURABH Sharma versus Subdivisional Magistrate East and others in WP number 65 by 95 by 2020. That is the writ filed by the SAURABH Sharma, who is an advocate practicing this Hazari court. So his appeal number is CM appeal number 23013 by 2020. This judgment was given on yesterday, that is 7/4/2021. Actually, the judgment was reserved on 17/2/2021. Entire arguments were also heard. But anyway, after 2 months, the judgment has been delivered in this SAURABH Sharma versus SDM East and others, and 4 others also. Right. So basically, the problem of the advocate Mr. SAURABH Sharma is that on 9/9/2020, around 11 a.m., he was stopped by the traffic police while he was going to the court in Geeta Colony, Delhi, and imposed a fine of rupees 500 for not wearing the mask while driving the car. He was driving his Honda City car, Honda City DL13CC 1479, and they held that he has to be imposed a fine of rupees 500 since he was not wearing a mask. Then he picked up a row with them. Of course, incidentally, the executive magistrate was also present. So he has paid the fine under protest and now he has filed the writ petition. So what the police people told him is, according to Delhi Epidemic Disease within bracket Management of COVID-19 Regulations 2020, if anybody does not wear the mask, he is liable to pay a fine of rupees 500. But here it is the place. So the mask should be worn in a public place, not in a. So the contention of the so-called advocate is that since he was driving his car alone, since there was no other person, since he was, of course, in other case, another advocate, he was found. The mask was hanging to the left ear, not to the right. That means he has let it loose. So even in such case also they were fined. So the contention is whether a private car, that too driven personally, that too alone, single person, whether it comes under public place or not. This is the question, crux of the question. Already you may be knowing the very famous case, Satvir Singh or Sachit Sula or something is versus State of Bihar 2019. There, this Singh and others, they were found taking drinks inside the car, and there is a dispute that this car does not come under the public place. But at the time itself, the Supreme Court held that when the public have got access, it is a public place. There also it has stated anyway. So they have taken the case. Supreme Court actually it has placed reliance on this judgment, right? So you may be knowing Justice Pratibha Singh, while stating that this is an important protocol which has to be observed by each and everybody by wearing the mask, because you will be exposed. The exposure is there. Don't think that you are alone. Don't think that you need not cover when you are in a car. Why it is taken as a public place? So here she has stated the recommendations of the World Health Organization also. So it has stated that mask should be used as a part of comprehensive strategy of measures to prevent the COVID-19 or corona pandemic, right? So why the vehicle is treated as a public place is because suppose if the person is there, he has normally he will windshield, he will down the windshield and he will purchase some article when a street vendor comes, when he stops the vehicle, or whenever he stops the vehicle near traffic signal, some beggar may come and ask him, or some tea wala may come and ask him. Then if he speaks something, he will be exposed to him. If that man speaks, this man will be exposed. So the definite possibility of exposure is there. So to prevent the exposure, so definitely the mask should be in its proper place. So three-layer mask is better, and you should cover the mouth and nose. Of course, not fully mouth and nose, that is better. So this lawyer, even though he was traveling in a car, now he will be exposed when he visited a market, when he visited a workplace, or when he visits a hospital, or when he visits a busy street prior to entering the car. That problem is also there. So therefore, the honorable judge has treated it as a public place. So you have to be stopped at traffic signal. Actually, the prayer of the lawyer is refund of the so-called rupees 500 fine plus 10 lakhs as compensation. But the High Court has clarified that no such thing is necessary. So ultimately, the Delhi High Court says that wearing mask is mandatory even if driving alone. So this is a good judgment. Please remember, normally most of the students also they get a doubt, why should we wear the mask? If you do not wear the mask, what is the legal provision for punishment? Please remember here, according to the Disaster Management Act 2005, the central government has authorized the states. The states in turn have authorized the district authorities to impose a fine for the prevention of the so-called spread of the infectious COVID-19. So they have made rules. So Delhi made rules according to Epidemic Disease Act, but in Andhra Pradesh, it is according to the Disaster Management Act 2005. If you violate the law, normally imposition of 500 or 1000 rupees is there. If you still persist, you will be punished under section 188 of the IPC. A lot of discussion has taken place. Anyway, this much is sufficient for you to know that even though you are driving a vehicle, you should wear the mask compulsorily. Right? Thank you very much.